Well, we're gonna start with this light English. Light math as well. Didn't they have a Russian version for this? I'll go English. Oh, it has the same little ring too. Oh, they have the same thing. Freaking from Winter's Empty Mask. But then again, this was first. But I never got the chance, and since it's winter month, so let's get started. So what's up, gamers, gamers, and gamettes? My name is John, and welcome to Haruka Winter Dreams by Eternal Night Studios. The same freaking gaming little game developing team that created the most cool game, Tricks or Treats, or Trick or Treat. I forgot the other one. It had something involved with the train or something. And the one that's personally my favorite is Winter's Empty Mask. I don't know why I didn't say that right. But yeah, the interesting thing is like freaking Yuki, the main character from the other game, is in this game. And I saw her little icon on the game when I clicked on it. So it's pretty cool. So this game is pretty much 1 hour. So we'll probably try to get like 30 minutes of it, maybe. Or we'll go for the entire game. So let's get started. Enough for me rambling. And it has the same little soundtrack, this eerie, scary noise, and that little same click thing. Whiteness. Otsusuka. Susukasa. Oh, so it's my house. All right, you finally love me. All right, a man. Writhets on the floor in such a way it's disgusting to see. It seems like he is suffering spasms and dying on the floor. But his movements are completely voluntary. His white eyes stare at the nothingness while his lip utter nonsense. It is not all that his sentences are incomprehensible. They are easy to understand, but they have no meaning to the listener. They do not make any sense. It is just shit being poured out from his rotten interior. Something I have seen hundreds of times throughout my life, yet never got used to it. I hate it every single time. The crawling man stained the floor with the saliva and other body's fluids that are best to remain unnamed unless one's desire is to get sick with the gross details. The feeling he gave me at this moment was beyond pity or shame. If someone killed him, he would be doing to him. Wait, if someone killed him, he would be doing to him? If someone killed him, he would be doing it to him. To himself, I guess that's what you're trying to be. I don't know what you meant by that. And thus, who made the misfortune to be watching a great favor. Oh, okay, this looks cool. Alright, happy. I'm so happy. I only wanted this in my life. Again, the sack of rotten meat that is called man speaks. His words speak practically badly this time. You might want to cut and space that. Alright. Do you dare call this happiness? Oh, it's true. Sorry. I forgot you're not in this world. Oh wait, that's the guy. Alright. I don't know if this is the girl talking or him. I look at the man without feeling anything but disgust for him. I do not want to be here. Be there. But the chains force me to stay. If it wasn't a coward, I would cut off my own legs to... If I wasn't a coward, I would cut off my legs to escape. But inside I knew that would accomplish nothing more than making my life even more miserable than the shit it already was. There is no point in increasing my suffering. The only thing I can do is to believe that one day I will get used to it and stop caring. To descend the icy mountain without legs would be suicide. And even if a miracle happens, the Gazin would catch me before I even reach half of the way. The only other possible escape I have is to die. It is incredibly an attractive option. Excuse me. If I did, my broken bones would stop hurting. My bruises would stop multiplying. And my empty stomach would no longer remind me of how hungry I am. But while the thought of it looks so beautiful, it is unquestionably hard to achieve. Every time my nails scratch my neck, just when I felt the warm blood stain my cold fingers, something stops me. The truth is, I'm afraid to die. And even worse, I am still hopeful. Transition to white. Maybe tomorrow someone will come to save me. It's just a silly and worthless dream. I know that it will never happen. Who the hell will care for my pain? I'm alone in this world of an indifference and its selfishness, as if no one else could dwell in. No other human. Just shadows that squeeze me and rip me apart to get what they want. After all, who would care for the pain of a monster? When they tag you with the word monster, you will automatically lose all sense of humanity. You become just a creature without rights or love. Even lower than animals or insects that everyone steps on. You exist to be hated. Yet, after saying all that, I cannot deny that all I want to live beyond this. I do not want to die without knowing a different place than this filthy temple about to collapse. Thank God of the mountain, our people appreciate your blessings and benevolence. As usual, we leave you to this humble offering that we all worked so hard to gather. We hope you enjoy it and keep you smiling at us with your kindness. I don't know if that's a dude or someone else, honestly. The group of men of the Gazin reverence him as a god. Being all of them from a small rural towns, there was no way to understand the existence of such a being other than calling him a god. I am like him. I'm an incomprehensible existence. But the difference that I am seen as a demon enslaved by the god to serve him and protect humanity. But who protects me from them? Practically all my life I had been here, captured in a place I don't want to be, being beaten for no reason other than the boredom of my master, forced to fulfill the fantasies of others while only dreaming of fulfilling my own. Oh damn, Haruka. Sanguine noche. Next night. I hear the wind blowing outside of the temple, hitting its walls. Clearly there's a blizzard which makes the night practically cold. Oh, particularly cold. Why do you say practically? So cold that it wouldn't surprise me if the blood was freezing inside my body. My breath condenses in the air, becoming a white mist. My trembling body clings to a sheet that is a sole guardian against the deadly cold. Whiteness. Do I click again? Oh, hello. Oh, I feel bad for her now. Even if my body feels so cold as the snow itself, my lips remain in silence at all time. I do not bother in asking for help, asking for my capture for something to warm my body. Many times I've done it before without receiving a response. Gazin hardly looked at me and pretended not to hear me. What a dick. Fuck you, Gazdin, whatever. The few times that he has answered me, the only thing I received was for a beating for being annoying. Oh my god, no. For being insolent and believing that I deserve more than the very last to survive. There's nothing to fear left. I will not die. Oh, fuck berries. What the fuck did I do? Oh. I would not die no matter how cold it can be this mountain. Wait. No matter how cold can be this mountain, it would not take my life. Alright. My whole body may get numb, until it is impossible to move. Or I could even faint. But Jinzan, I don't know if that's supposed to be Jinzan, I'll just say that. Jinzan would not allow me to die, no matter how much I wanted it. It is not the first time that I pass a night like that. In the mountain, In the mountain, bad weather and coldness are very common, especially in winter. As time passes, I forgot about the cold. However, it is not that I got used to it, but my body was so numb that I couldn't feel it anymore. It is better like that. I felt as my body was transforming into ice, beginning with the extremities, crawling slowly up to my torso and head. But I don't care. My mind was on the other place. The cold was making me sleepy. Being weaker than it, I ended up closing my mind. My eyes. I wouldn't mind if I never opened them again. Whiteness. Transition. Oh, a flashback? Who are you? Who are you? Where are you taking me? Asked a young girl, ignoring this is new. What was happening? She had been living alone since she had memory. Her parents are nowhere to be found, and no one has ever wanted to adopt her. All the nearby villages say that she possesses strange powers, that she's dangerous and no one should go near her. But the girl is not able to understand what's wrong with her. She is innocent and naive, too weak to control her own powers and too ignorant to understand why others fear her. Her name is Haruka, simply Haruka, without a surname since she does not belong to any family. She doesn't know who gave her that name, but her deepest memories says she is called like that. That is everything she remembers. Once someone took care of her and called her by that name, but it seems that he felt regrets and ended up abandoning her. It was only thanks to her supernatural strength that the girl managed to survive alone. What? But now she was seen as a plague by the townspeople. Do you want to stay still? Just keep silent and come with me, said the man looking about 40 years old. Okay. He had a short gray beard and a thick body as if it made with logs. He wears an old kimono with a fine grayish blue and reddish torn. The man is none other than the the man is none other than Genzan, the god of the mountain. For many years, he has been revived as the deity in the local villages. People are afraid of his strange powers, but at the same time believe that he will protect them from the monsters such as the girl. Stop! Let me go! You're hurting me! The girl quickly breaks into tears when the man begins to pull her hand without any care. What a dick. Even with the supernatural strength, Haruka was nothing more than a girl. Being assaulted by someone stronger than her and forced to go somewhere where she didn't want to go was more than a reason enough for her to shed tears and cry out loud. Oh, hell no! I told you to shut up, replied the male furiously. At the same time, he slaps the girl. Oh my god, I feel so bad for her already. And we just started this story, man. Come on, man. What the hell? But I like how the art evolved after a while. You know, like, when you look at Winter's Empty Mass, it's a little bit different, but you still have to see the similarities. It's like, especially like the lines and the texture of it. And I've seen some of the art that comes with the Patreon. By the way, support the Patreon, man. I want the story, man. I want the next story. What happens after Andrew and freaking Yuki meet again after, like, you know, she has that sweet smile, man. The blow is strong that Haruka's head ends up facing the other direction. Her white skin is now painted red. No doubt that there will leave her a bruise. Oh, excuse me. Haruka feels a metallic taste in her mouth. A wound had just been opened. Oh. If you don't want another one, better stay silent, grumbled the man without feeling any empathy for her. What a dick. I want to kill this guy now. I want Yuki to kill this guy. I hope she comes by soon. The girl continued crying now, but now is in silence. She rubs her eyes and cleans her nose without making noise. Haruka does not resist resist afraid of feeling more pain. She knows that the pain is only the thing that she would get from that day. Sweet innocence. One just can't believe that the world can be so cruel. We believe that there is a limit that stops it from crossing a certain line. But there is no such magic. There is a world simply imbodiable. Excuse me. He simply had no interest. I probably said that wrong, by the way. I don't know. Sorry. No interest in her welfare. But her existence had a value. So although it seemed a horrible idea and an unbearable creature, he did not kill her. He would instead take her into his home to take advantage of her powers until she couldn't use them anymore. From that day, the girl's life, my life, will be immersed in pain and anguish. Day after day, I would be abused in different ways, which before I did not know. Living alone in the forest as an animal would be better than this. Because even animals have dignity and are not injured if it is not for a reason. White transition. God dang, it's always getting deep, man. I don't want to. It hurts whenever you do it. Please stop. I said while resisting the hands that snatched my clothes. Oh my god, no. And later touched my most intimate places without the slightest care. His cold hands and rough movements did not produce any sensation but pain. Oh my god, naturally my reaction is to try to defend myself. But there's no way my slim and battered body could stop Genzan. What the fuck? It was nothing more than a despair pushing me to do something, no matter how useless it was. Oh my god, no. Getting tired, space that. Getting tired of my insolence. Genzan gives me a strong slap and resonates across the room. Resonates that across the room. Yeah. All of my fighting stops at the moment. I slowly move my right hand, thinking of my caressing my cheek to relieve the pain, but Genzan catches it. Stop! You're gonna break it. Wait, I don't know if that's her. Oh wait, that's her. Stop! You're gonna break it. I just give her. I shouted desperately, but my words aren't heard. Genzan pressed my hand with so much force that I feared it was gonna split in two. I tried to pull my hand to escape from his grip while crying in agony, begging him to stop. His eyes looked at me silently, saying, "You deserve it." Oh my god. Is this the guy? If it hurts you so much when I put it in there, perhaps I should open you a new, bigger hole. Oh my god, Genzan's words froze my blood. Kill this guy, please, someone kill him already. Even the pain seems to disappear at the same time. My eyes fully open in fear. Tears fall accompanied by the submissive silence. Oh god, dark transition. Oh god. That night, I did not find rest. Both my body and my soul hurt. I had been soiled once again, used as a piece of meat without real value. It was humiliating, embarrassing. It reminded me that I am garbage that nobody cares about. My body is burning as if it's sick. I am lying on the cold wooden floor. Oh my god, my empty eyes look toward the nothingness while I caress my belly, trying to comfort myself. I don't care what it is in front of me. I only want the night to end. Stop. I cannot take it anymore. I'm sorry, I said, with my face covered in tears as I cuddled myself into a corner with nowhere to escape. My body trembles, not of the blood, but with fear. At least the parts that I can move without feeling pain. Oh my god, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's horrible to imagine that I have already become accustomed to something like that. I hated the idea, however, it was the truth. This is the only common or even normal in my life. I expected to be beaten until I cannot move. I simply don't know when it will happen. Sometimes Jinzan wasn't good at move and spent months without hurting me. Sometimes he was furious and vented his anger, hitting me as if I was an embodiment of his problems. I covered my face with my arms to protect it, and more importantly, to avoid seeing my abuser. I close my teary eyes, wishing for everything to end soon. The darkness gives me a small tranquility for not knowing when or where would be the next hit. Oosh, my god. Then I feel a strong kick that crushes my left side. Break in 2 ribs, oh my god. I instantly cried so hard I almost teared my throat. The pain is sharp and unbearable. My god, this music goes with it. My broken bones pierce in my insides. And whenever I move, as little as it was, my nerves scream once more. Why? Why do you do this? Why? I didn't do anything wrong. I asked in tears, unable to remember what I could have done to anger him. What was my sin to deserve this abuse? Jinzan stops to think about it a little in silence. It's just been so long since I've hit you. What the fuck? No, fuck you, guy. Fuck you, Jinzan. The hell was her cruel and unjust response? Am I not a human that I can survive more abuse? But the pain is no different? My pain is equal to any other. Awful, distressing, and unbearable. Even without being human, I can feel pain. I should not live like this. It's too cruel. The darkness called despair grows inside me with each wound. I hated it. I hated them all. Jinzan, I hate Jinzan already. I already hate him. The townsfolk, I hate them too. The mountain, even myself for being so weak and fallen at the mercy of such scum. More than once, I thought of killing him. Do it. In my mind, I had made dozens of plans to avenge myself, making use of the almost infinite times I have when no one visits the temple. However, I never follow any of them. No matter how much I wanted it, how many times I saw more torment and torture in him in my mind. No matter how much I thought of it, I could never find a credible way to kill him. And what is worse, I was terrified of imagining what he could do to me as punishment. Just thinking it made me whisper, "Forgive me," in the air. I could almost feel it. It would be horrible. Heartbreaking, horrible. I wouldn't be able to even breathe because of the unbearable pain of feeling of all my bones broken and my flesh being ripped from my body. Why won't I die? Wouldn't it be better for me to die while I sleep? To not live another day? I asked the gods that night, like many others, knowing that they would not listen. I'm alone, with no one to talk to. You might want to space that. There is no one to understand my pain. I hate being such a coward. It's so obvious that there was no place for me in this world. If only I was braver, I could accept it and escape from this temple and this world. White transition. Foxwoman. Oh wait, that's her. Foxwoman. Can you can make my dreams into reality. I want you to punish those who stole my harvest. I have a special ability. It's because of it that the villagers feared me and they asked Jinzan to slay me. If I didn't have it, he wouldn't have killed me for sure at the moment. However, he saw more profitable to have me as a slave. I can generate dreams and illusions so perfect that you could call them real. Why don't you just do that to Jinzan? Like, oh wait, he's a god too, isn't he, or something like that? Within those dreams, one can touch, look, listen, smell, taste, and even think with complete naturalness. Being impossible to distinguish, it is a dream until you are about to awake. While you are dreaming, the world is real. All senses are deeply within the illusion in such a way that the mind perceives it as the real world. Textures, colors, sounds, flavors, and smells, all of them are replicated With so much detail, one cannot find any fault. The ability to know, to reason, and to think it is also within the dream, so our actions within it is completely ours. With consciousness and will, our identity exists in a world that we'll believe exists, enjoying it or suffering it fully with memories, reactions, experiences, and sensations completely ours. It is not until the end of the dream, when one feels is close to awakening, that illusion begins to perceive as false and the memory of it becomes fuzzy. We can remember what we did. We remember how beautiful or real it felt, but we cannot remember the beauty it had. When it has known that the illusion is an illusion, the feeling is in the mind is lost or becomes false. Because of that, many humans, inhabitants of nearby villages, return again and again to revive their dreams, becoming addicted to the fantasy. More than once I have been tempted to turn them idiotic dreams, their fantasies, into nightmares. Why don't you do that then? Damn. It would be comforting to see them screaming and crying, begging for mercy that they would never find while they are broken, cursed, humiliated, and tortured relentlessly for the enjoyment of their attackers. I bet that if I did that, I would discover that they are nothing more than trash. They are scum who flutter the stronger for their favors, but later act arrogant, trampling those who are below you. Trash like them is not worth anything. But unfortunately, again, my fear of punishment stops me from doing such a thing. The dreams last only a couple of hours, but within that dream, time moves differently. It is thanks to men that Jinzan and I can live in the solitary temple. Since they bring offering of food, clothes, and other items, how I never felt grateful to them. I hate more than anything in the world, even more than my luck, to watch them ask for useless dreams that often they do not really appreciate. Whims, leisures, banalities. None of these dreams is remotely as true and as pure as mine of the living, dignified life. A life that has enjoyed and loved instead of pain and hopelessness. White transition. I feel bad for her so much. I suddenly opened my eyes. My body was still pale and cold, but I had survived one more night. It's pathetic. It's truly pathetic. Is this all I have? Paradoxically, I started to laugh. I laughed at the same time tears flowed from my eyes. It was simply funny how pathetic I am. So much I couldn't help but laugh at myself. Being near death, I remember moments of my life, and all of them are garbage. Aww. Is this the best I have to remember? Is she really Fox Goddess? Because does she have the ears? Or what is she? I don't know. It would be better to have a fantasy or an illusion, or see an illusion. My laughter is quickly replaced by crying. I wanted to scream with all my strength until I tear my lungs, but if I wake up Jinza, it would be dangerous. Having nothing to do, overwhelmed by my own helplessness, I snuggled in the corner, crying silently, muttering curses to myself and to the world. Please, someone, save me. Anyone, please. Dark transition. Segunda noche, next night. I like how it does the both languages on that. Oh, the night was wind. That night was their wind. It was not strong enough to be called a blizzard, but nobody would expose himself to the cold. Other than there was nothing worthless to say, it was boring and ordinary night. I found myself in the corner sleeping more calmly than usual. The day Janzan was good and gave me a little more food than normal. It did not have the best taste, but it fills my stomach and full it is pleasure that I rarely can enjoy. That night I would not have nightmares, hopefully not dreams either. But pain and false hope are painful. I just want to rest my hurt body and forget everything. Oh? Who's coming? Huh? I expressed confusion. It seems someone was walking inside the temple. I can't imagine to be anyone but Jinza. But then, why was he awake? Jinza should be sleeping in his room right now. Status. Who the hell is that? Wait a minute. Hold up. Who is there? Jinzan asks. Oh wait, that's it. Who's there? Jinzan asks first, while you can hear him walking in circles around the temple. All my tiredness disappeared at the moment. It is not the first time invaders appear, but there is a strange feeling tonight. Jinzan is acting especially nervous and impatient. I watch Jinzai from afar, carefully to be quiet for not disturbing him. A huge curiosity invades me. Anything that is different from the monstrous, monotonous and tired routine of every day was welcome for me. But in this case, I feel special curiosity, even fear. I simply cannot understand what's happening. Why Jinzai cannot detect the invaders instantly like the dozens of previous times? Oh, I think we already know who's gonna come by. Jinzai begins to sniff the surroundings like if he was an animal tracking his prey. He sniffs around many places until he finally stops. You have no smell, bastard, he said angrily. What the hell are you? Hearing those words made my heart stop for an instant. This invader is different. Jinzai could not detect him. Not with his fine ear, nor with his supernatural sense of smell. The same Jinzai who was able to hear a whisper at the hundreds of meters, or even a listen to his breath, and the heartbeat, could not be known of the position of the invader. Surprised, I pressed my left wrist with anxiety. I simply cannot believe it. Would it be the day that something changes? Even if it's just the day that I will be killed? Come out at once. Stop hiding your damn rat. Jinzai impatiently shouted out the air. Hearing his screams more than enough to give me goosebumps. But I have to calm down. Those screams in anger are not directed to me this time. Nothing. There's no response. Furious Jinzai stomps the wooden floor at the temple with so much force that it breaks. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what should I think or how should I feel. Impatience is eating me from the inside. I'm being crushed by anxiety of not knowing who or what is it in the temple. Is he really as strong as Jinzai? Is nothing but a bad dream? Does he have any interest in us? I don't know. Now one of those answers and the ignorance was killing me. Oh, hello. You're too loud. Hello, familiar face. Oh, actually, I like this costume better than the other ones you had before. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that might be a different person. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe that's not Yuki. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. You talk too loud. You don't have to be like that. Suddenly, said a voice that none of the two had ever heard before. A female voice. It appeared that nowhere it has materialized from the shadows. The figure of the person wearing a black suit with then a hood on, obscuring her face. She had a very long black hair, reaching her hips, with the color blood red. How dare you disgrace this place? For your insolence, your punishment will be death. Jinzai roared furious. His voice seemed more like that of a monster than a human. As soon as he pronounced the last word, he shot an invisible energy that only could be distinguished of a distortion of the light. As if it was a bubble of hot air of a crystal ball bending the light while it moves. The girl reacted instantly. No, saying that would be a mistake. She actually moved before the attack as if she had predicted it. She dodged the shot, just moving enough to avoid it by inches. It was amazing. Not only was she able to see it and avoid it, but she could also measure it. The spear collapsed a small part of the temple when it hit the walls, making a loud noise like a crash. Stinking rat! I am Jinza, the god of this mountain. Jinzan's voice echoes all over the place. I had never seen him so angry. Jinza's pride has been wounded from the failure of the attack. In response, he shoots a huge burst of energy as if it were a wall of wind. But it was not the wind. It was rather like a wave. It was impossible for me to describe, but what little I can understand is that it is not a wall of wind, but it was a move in the air. She is forced to make a long leap sideways to avoid the attacks, but once again comes out unscratched. And once again she does it by inches. It was impossible only by casualties. She knew that she would be safe, had the ability to make it happen. Jinza himself cannot believe what is happening. For a moment he forgets his rage being overcome by disbeliefs. His eyes said it all, quietly and repeatedly, that it was impossible, but it was no illusion. It's happening before our own eyes. She lowered her hood, finally revealing her face. It's a girl more or less than my age. 15 years. Oh wait, she's 15? Oh yeah. Her face could be called beautiful if not for the expression it had. I can feel my blood freeze just by looking at it. It feels so unnatural, the doll. So creepy. The girl has a smile on her face, but somehow her smile looks forced, artificially, and inhuman. It is not a girl smiling sweetly, or an enemy smiling with confidence to her adversary. It is more like a doll with a smile in its face. Something artificial and misshapen that immediately feels uncomfortable. Her gaze is nothing better. The girl's eyes red like blood and the empty look as if they were a doll's glass eyes. Looking in front of without actually seeing what's there. Just a fake gesture. Everything in her eyes simply uncomfortable. Just looking at her makes me nervous. Her presence inspired me fear. Without realizing, I pressed it once again against my chest. A gesture that showed I was nervous. Are you god of the mountain? If so, then I am Shinigami, god of death. Oh, Shinigami. The girl then shows her right hand. Between the fingers of her 4 needles. Oh yeah, hello Yuki, stained with blood. She was clearly provoking him without the least concern of fear. How could she do that? Never before have seen someone talking to Jinzen like that. Quiet, bitch! You don't know who you are facing. Jinzen's voice was strong, though oh shit. Though it would be break my eardrums. As if as a reflex, I lowered my head to cover my ears. Jinza's voice was okay. Jinza instantly shoots another wall of energy. This even larger, and most important, faster than the previous. The invisible energy flies in the air faster than an arrow, bending the light, shaking the temple on its path, until it got near the girl. As an instant, she reacts, jumping sideways, just like the last time. Only now, her reflexes failed. It wasn't a direct hit, but it was enough to open a small wound on her face. Yet she does not seem to care. But I do know who you are. You are the one I have to kill. Allies of my family told us about a fake kami god that was gaining too much influence in their lands. Of course, they tried to kill him, but he turned out to be too strong. That's why they request my services. Of course, a Cassidy priestess. There is nothing that I cannot kill. Seeing it, I am also a kami. Or rather, a Shinigami. The girl stares at Jinza while she is speaking. Her smile alone is already disturbing, but to see her blood crawling back into her wound, healing them completely would have frozen anyone's blood. I can't believe now how strange she is. In her actions and powers, watching her heal and her wound stole my breath. Shut up! You are nothing more than a rat. Oh, yeah, you're gonna get shanked. Oh, you know, I don't see the red highlights. There should be red highlights here. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, you done gone goofed up, boy. Jin's impatience is short, and without waiting one more second, he jumps towards the girl, trying to crush her within his own body. He fails to generate a blast, then he shakes the surroundings as he was demolishing ball hitting the ground. White transition. However, his attack was completely useless. She thrown needles stained with blood, which nailed onto the back of Jin's eyes, making him moaning with pain. Ha! Your power is to control sound, or more correctly, the vibrations on the air, water, or ground. The girl said when her feet touched the ground. In just fractions of a second, she had regained her composure. She didn't seem to worry or scared in the least. Jin's responded with a shout, not in anger or hatred, but as a combat technique. His cry, inhumane, is defiant. The whole place vibrates and the light bends, making it difficult to see. Immediately, his cry makes me lose balance. My body begins to hurt as if I was already beaten from the inside, especially my ears. For the moment, I swore that they were bleeding because of the horrible pain. I lose the notation of where I am, up and down mixed, with my brain unable to distinguish his wit in which is which, and that causes me horrible headaches and nausea. I feel my stomach stirring, but somehow I managed to contain the urge to vomit. Just shut up, bitch! Jinzan charges against the girl, taking the advantage that everyone but himself had lost their balance, but his powers. When he's close enough, he stretches his arms, trying to hit her with all of his might, but fails. Ha! Jinzan opens his eyes, surprised when he feels the stings of the bloody needles burying his flesh. The tips of the needles burn as if they had been soaked in acid, or they were red hot. The abnormal pain had a special meaning. Just before the impact, the girls moved nimble, ducking and sneaking away. After succeeding in the attack, she moves with a jump, turning in the air to fall facing at Jinza. Her agility alone is amazing, but being inhumane to the effects of Jinza's shot was simply impossible to believe. Such a weak god is not worthy of worship, she said, her hair covering part of her face, giving her a more sinister appearance. Her words seemed to hurt more than her needles. Jinza's eyes shine with hatred. He chatters his teeth with so much force that I thought they would break. I'm a kami. I'm a kami. A being above men and shamans. Once again, he screams, his echoes all over the place. But this time, effects are much more intense. The light bends and distorts, making it impossible to distinguish to what you're looking at. It was like being surrounded by mirrors that's giving a deformed precipitation of the surroundings. An unnatural and indescribable image. All the while, unbearable noises beeps on your ears and on the place moves in circles. The combined effects that produces a feeling of nausea and dizziness that I am unable to resist. I am forced to return the food that so much enjoyed gave me and the beginning of the night. Ooh, excuse me. Oh my. No wasting time, Jensen begins throwing balls of energy, or rather sound, against the girl. One after another without stopping. It was difficult to see. But it seems that she was smiling. Her terror is slowly deformed by the lights, making even the more twisted and unnatural something I thought impossible. She moves right at the last second, doing all sorts of stunts and acrobats to dodge the attacks. Jumps, perdius, rolls, spins. She avoids the noise of Jin's head by just millimeters, measuring them perfectly even on deformed and bent reality. where nothing seemed to be where it belonged.
With each attack, Jinzai misses the girl and throwing needles at him.
With the same pressions of the machine. It was as safe as she was broad daylight. She didn't stationary target. She could even predict where he would move.
Enough!
Jinzai roared, stopping the needles mid-air with an invisible wall of sound. Finally, the vibration stops and the distortion wouldn't return to normal. I have no words to describe what I was looking at. Never before have seen anyone last so long against Jinzai, much less managing to hurt him in anger so much. I stare at the girl, astonished.
He's perfectly still,
as if she had suddenly become a statue. Her face is covered by shadow, so that only her nose and her smile could only be seen. There is only a sinister air surrounding her. It is then I realized something. All over the place were hundreds of fine hairs. So thin they are almost invisible to the eye. They are all connected to the hands of the girl. Apparently Jinzai had also noticed them. He silently looked at her, trying to understand what was the purpose of them is there before attacking again. The sense of touch has been always the greatest perception among all the senses. You can bend light, hide your smell with other odors, deform sounds, but you cannot make someone cease to exist. Its the presence will be the perceptible, no matter what, and my brain knows to recognize textures, forms, and measures distances. The power is so pathetic, so vulgar and boring that it's not even worthy of a human. It's just above trash. You miserable! Oh wait, you miserable worm. I don't know, that's, Her words stabbed him in the heart, leaving a word even deeper than those made by the needles. It was unbearable, unacceptable, a sin that went further than what even death could purify. Jensen's eyes open widened, his arms shaking violently. When he speaks, my mind freezes, unable to believe what just had happened.
It was obvious that the girl was infuriating him.
That what made him surprising. I have spent my life believing that enraging him was the worst thing that could happen. It acted ended with pain and repentance. However, the girl mocks him without a fear, even taking advantage of his anger against himself. I cannot believe someone so strong and confident exists. In my mind, I beg her to kill her. I beg her to kill him. I don't care what happens to me next. I just want to see Jinzai die. The darkness of my soul cries out to see him in pain and agony at the time of his death. To see him suffer as he made me. It was a dream that I believed as impossible and forgotten a long time ago. But that girl had revived it. I don't care if it means that I will also be killed. It is not a destiny as bad as having to live this kind of life. Seeing Jinzai dying would be a small joy to say goodbye. Dark transition. Drowning in hate, Jinzai begins to suffer horrible spasms that violently shaken his body. With each of them, he loses the human form, transforming it into something different. It is a power that beings as I know perfectly. The ability to transform our bodies becomes stronger with the appearance of a beast. My transformation makes me a Kinsun, mythological fox with many tails. But even after living with him for so many years, I didn't know what would Jinzan transform into. It was the first time I had seen Jinzan transform. His appearance is humanoid, but with a demonic feature. Oh, wait a minute. Horns and claws grew on his body. His skin turned red. His hair turned black, as if his face was nearly identical to his Oni, or Gadima. Oh, I don't know. Oh, from the mythological book. For a moment, I thought it was a very appropriately shaped for him. Despite how much I wanted him to see him die, a monster-like appearance is fascinating. My eyes cannot stop looking at him.
May the fury of the heavens fall over you in the form of agony and suffer it.
His voice is strangely inhumane, and it has an echo that makes it sound impressive and divine, probably created by the powers over sound. The girl does not say or do anything more than a smile, waiting for him to make the next move. Burning in anger,
It was impossible for the slightest idea of strategy.
or patience to exist in Jinzai. Although his strength was nothing short of amazing. On a few occasions, I had seen him finish offering a group of invaders with ease. After transforming, Jinzai's strength and speed grew monstrously. He uses his vibration of sound on his leg to jump and run and dash, making him even faster than the girl.
Accept your sins, worm.
Oh, I don't know if that's her.
Open your eyes and see the fury of a god.
Oh, I like the soundtrack that comes with it. Is it fighting time? That's adorable. Not adorable, but like that's cool and funny. I like that. The old art style. Jinzai jumps against the floor, ceiling and walls, trying to reach the girl, who always moves at the last second, escaping from his fingers by inches. It looked like a ball.
Best anime fights, 10 out of 10.
He bounced everywhere, except it was rather than a demolition ball. He also used monster's vibration on his hands, which when combined, it was a strength that I was sure that could be destroyed even a war tank with a single hit. It is not a sin to kill an ignorant believing with madness that he is a god. Perhaps you are the beast of the mountain, but outside, you are no more than trash. Ooh, get wrecked. The concentration of the girl is amazing. Out of this world. She could talk while dodging the tireless attacks of Jinzai, without being distracted in the least. With every missed attack, she throws more needles at him. Phew, and they could be only buried on the tip of the hardness of the skin. But even then, I'm sure that she could kill him. Those bloody needles must have special meaning. Finally, after long minutes, Jinzai stops his attacks and becomes silent. He stands a few steps away from the girl, unable to accept it anymore.
Time freezes for me at the moment.
My heart stops at the swell of the breeze. My eyes stare at Jinzai anxiously, waiting to see what would happen, unable to blink out or look away from him. He will kill her. He will kill her. He will kill her. I had never seen that look on Jinzai. There's no way that she will survive. I murmured to myself, feeling a few newfound hopes breaking into pieces. So infinitely small they would disappear. I covered my mouth with both my hands in nervous gestures while looking carefully at what is happening. I was so scared, so worried. It felt like if I was who I was going to be punished. Just look on his eyes woke an overwhelming fear in my heart.
The heavens will crush you.
Jinzai shouted with such force that I grounded before my feet trembles and my ears began to bleed. It was a fighting technique, not a simple battle cry. Almost instantly, I fall to the ground, but the pain lacked of balance. I cannot hear anything. Not screams of my moans and pain. Seeing also becomes almost impossible. I'm almost not able to look at my own hands. Again, the light bends, and together with the lack of balance makes me lose the precipitations of the world, torturing me with the horrible dizziness, unnatural sound of deformed images. Incredibly, the girl stood solid in her place, jumps at her, producing so much noise. When he falls, I am able to listen.
It is under the effects of his monster's cut. He immediately makes
the second attack and then another one. Pursuing the girl while his body generated horribly noisy vibration with each move and roar. Without even touching her, Jinzai open wounds on the skin of the girl, and deep wounds. Instant vibration, equity. Excuse me. Oh my god! I need water for this, man. I'm drinking so much. Alright. Instant vibration equated. They constantly beating, and the Jinzai's impressive speed made it impossible for the Get to get far enough to avoid them. Only the lack of coordination of Jinzai allowed her to stay alive. If he was more skilled at the combat, he would have ended it in a couple of seconds. Part of the temple collapses, succumbing to the unstoppable onslaught of Jinzai. The girl surely has become deaf by the noise. Perhaps for the better. The way she would be not tortured by the echo inside her head, as I was, her eyes must be seeing deformed or distortion images, but even if she chosen not to close them,
It's then that she feels it.
and if she still had her sense of hearing, it would have been sounded as a creak. Two of her ribs were broken by Jinzai's instant vibration. Her internal organs were crushed by the noise with each attack, as if they were hit into by an iron hammer. But her strange regeneration, I don't know why it sounded like that for a second. Regeneration focused on her by the organs, and her control of blood allowed her to ignore it. Another creak. Now it had been 3 of her fingers. Her skill allowed her to continue fighting even without notice and without her. She has not lost yet. It creaked again. This one feels different. More like something soft and watery being crushed. Her liver was destroyed completely, leaving just bloody pulp. It creaked more. This time was her ankle. How much longer would it take for her whole body to be destroyed? I bite my lips in anguish, holding on to the last light I hoped I had. I want to see her win. I want her to be the one who kills, and not the one who dies. I cannot hear or see clearly, but somehow I know that the girl is still struggling. Now she's putting all her weight on the other foot and escape by jumping, avoiding death.
It creaks again.
Now part of her right shoulder is fractured. Internal bleeding would have killed her, if not for her strange powers. Finally, her body could not take any more of them and falls. It was too broken and to keep fighting. The girl falls to the ground while her face has traces of blood all over it. Her red eyes in no time lost their expressionless and appears of glass.
You're facing death.
I have you, bitch. Jinzai announced, savoring the victory, but somehow goes worse. For no reason, the girl smiles, a smile full of confidence, as if there was just what she wanted. No, I have you where I wanted to. A dead man is not any threat. After saying that, for a few seconds, the place stays silent while nothing happens, as if time had frozen. I do not understand what's going on, or why doesn't Gunzai and Jinzai simply end her? Is then that when I suddenly realized the distortion of sound by Jinzai had disappeared. Probably seconds before, but it has not until now that noticed it because my senses were still recovering from the effects. I can't move. I don't know if that's her. I can't move with difficulty. Oh wait, that's her. Wait, I can't move with difficulty. Jinzai utters these words. He had not noticed before because he was blinded by the fury. But something was wrong with his body. Mysteriously, he begins to cry blood. Red tears fall from his eyes, slowly, while his body barely moves, trembling like he was so cold. His breathing becomes irregular, as if he had run a marathon and was desperate to catch his breath. But the breathing so fast is choking him even more. It's hot. Why is it so hot? Jinzai forgets about the girl that time, worrying only about his body. It felt as if someone had put something put him inside an oven. His brain was cooking in its own liquid. It was a flush of burning into coil with no flame. Being so active helped to spread the poison all over your body. A deadly poison that first paralyzes the body. This is your end, false god. The girl speaks with such coldness and indifference that it was painful to listen. I cannot accept what words she says. Even if I force myself to believe, it still seems impossible. The blood in the needles that the girl was throwing was poisonous. Each attack increased the doses until it became lethal. The size of the wounds
were no importance. Only the poisonous affected his blood. He ended up
break something inside Jinsai. It was simply impossible. He would never accept such a thing. Jinsai could not speak anymore. He clumsily squeaks his teeth one last time. His face once again is covered in fury, while he slowly stretches his clawed hand, pointing at the girl that never stops smiling. The sharp claw slowly approaches at her white skin, awkwardly, shaking every inch they move. It was a shadow of the last wish of the false god, until it finally reaches her, scratching her face. Blood flows from the wound. It was just a superficial cut. Nothing to worry about. That was his last will. The smiling face of the girl, adored, with the eyes of glass and stained of blood, was the last image that he could see before falling into silent darkness. Shortly after dying and Jinsai's body returned to his human form, she observed him with no emotion on her face. She looked more indifferent than before, even bored. Dark transition. Water time. While on the ground, the girl points at the corpse with the palm of her right hand. Surprised, I see how something so strange happens with him. His body begins to tremble, every second more violently, until it finally explodes from the inside. Blood escapes from the holes, flying with pressure. His face and body bend in unnatural ways, relieving that all his bones have been broken. The girl with the stain with a little blood, but it does not seem to bother her. Moved by some invisible force, the blood creeps away from her body and clothes, leaving them perfectly clean. At the moment, my eyes open completely with disbelief. I press my hands against my chest and open my mouth, unable to accept the reality in front of my eyes. She killed him. Jinsai is dead. How many times have I wished for this moment? How many prayers have I told to the air? Never expecting that they would be heard. I was simply stunned. My mind, without knowing how I should feel, has stopped working, leaving me blank. But shortly after, an idea appeared that changes everything. What transition? All my life I had deserved this moment, but never before I had imagined how scary it could be. I didn't have anyone to protect me from her. I don't know anyone. I can't trust anyone, much less defend myself against the person who killed Jinsai. My thoughts changed completely, drowning me in fear. I can hear my heart beating quickly. My lips are dry. Suddenly the words seem to have become colder and darker, because there is no one else to hear than us two. Nobody else. Alright, nobody else who can draw the attention of the killer. Terrified, I limit myself to just stare at her in silence, making sure not to draw attention. She's like a doll, sitting on the floor and gazing without actually seeing what she had in front of her. Her eyes stared at the nothingness as if there were nothing more than ornaments. Minutes pass, but nothing changes. There is only silence, a dead silence inside a destroyed temple. Finally, The girl had finished regenerating her wounds. She slowly gets up and prepares to leave, looking for an exit. Wait! I yelled at the moment, overcoming my own fears. If I was left alone, I surely would die. Between a certain death and danger would likely be death. The decision was more than obvious. Oh, this is nice. This is a nice picture. I might use this as thumbnail. I like, well, it's so white on this one, but yeah, I like it. Oh, there's the highlights. Nice, nice. All right, here we go. The girl then stops. She slowly turns, fixing her indifferent eyes upon me. The moment her red eyes looked at mine, I felt like it was 1,000 needles made of ice were nailed on my back. Would she kill me? Would she help me if I asked for it? I certainly do not know the answer, but I had to try. I have to be brave and speak. She walks slowly until she is a few steps from me. Are you gonna kill me? I clumsily ask. It was the most difficult and the most important question of all. The anxiety is so great at the time that without thinking, I bury my nails under my skin. I don't mind the pain. I can't even feel it. My mind was so focused only on the reaction of the girl. Oh, here we go. We're panning up the closeness. Oh, the pixelated. All right. You want me to kill you? She responded without showing the least excitement or interest. Listening to her word makes my heart stop. Almost trembling with fear, I close my eyes and shake my head in denial. I cannot even talk, much less look at her in the eyes. Then I won't. My mission was to kill only the kami. Nobody said anything about killing you. She added shortly after my reaction. After hearing her, I sighed with relief. I couldn't believe my fortune. It was a real miracle. Excuse me. Oh my god. Pixelated face. All right. Out there. It was a miracle. I quickly opened my eyes and looked at her emotionless face. Would you save me then? I poured all my heart onto that question. It meant everything to me. My dreams, my hopes, my only chance to get out of here and find a new life. Save you? Questioned the girl without showing any emotion. Why would I do that? Nigga, I am freaking chained. Like for real. Excuse me, it's like. If you did it, I could be your friend. Aw, that's nice. I responded as a reflex. That is the only thing I had to offer. Given that the answer as I looked at her with eyes full of hope is almost pathetic. I don't have any friends. Coldly responds the girl. For some reason, she had not ignored me and moved on. I guess she was curious in what I had to say. After all, she did not lose anything by doing so. Then I could be the first, is what I came to say, insisting with my idea. A doll like me doesn't need friends, she said, but shortly after that, she looks away. It seemed like she had just remembered something. Her flashback and stuff. I know what she's thinking. Her face showed a little emotion, but I was not able to decipher what it was. I know exactly what it was. I was wrong. I don't know if that was her. I was wrong. It looks like that, despite everything. Though there is someone who I can call a friend. Yep, I know who it is. And those of you that see my winter... excuse me, like Winter's Empty Mask, you exactly know what's happening in this moment. I should have read this story before. I didn't know about this, but no, actually I did, but I never had the chance to get to it. But since it's winter time and it has the name Winter, why not? Plus, I'm still waiting on freaking Winter's Empty Mask continuation, and they're putting new mechanics on it, so I'm excited for that. She then makes a small pause that for me seemed almost eternal. All right. I think I could save you.
It is a reward for making me realize my mistake.
Aww. Her answer takes me by surprise. I don't know what. Oh, damn it. I don't know what I should do or say, but I do not have time to react. When she finished speaking, she stretched her right hand, pointing towards me with an open palm. At the moment, I felt the blood in my body painfully moved, as if a parasite was crawling under my skin, stirring all of my organs. Ah! I shouted in pain while embracing my stomach, pressing it tight. However, the pain was just lasted a few seconds. It disappeared as fast as it appears, leaving me with a great sense of relief, a feeling that I had forgotten after so many years of abuse, that of a healthy body without wounds. Immediately after, a pair of knives hit the chain that imprisoned me so hard that I cut them. Finally, after a long time, I was free from my chains, free from my pain, free from Jinza. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I repeated it 1,000 times, unable to stop. My soul was full of gratitude. At the time, I didn't feel more than love for the girl. I wanted to hug her. I wanted to kiss her and tell her how much that meant to me. My eyes couldn't stop crying. For the first time in a long time, I was smiling. I was happy, really happy. I thought that I would die before reaching this day. And now before my eyes, it was happening. It was beautiful. More than anything else I had ever seen. Ever more than death of Jinza. More than all the useless dreams of the villagers together. I just don't have words. Attempting to describe, it would be to insult to its beauty. The only thing I could say was thank you, as if it was a spell bound to transmit her my joy. So, this was what happiness feels like. It's nothing like one of my dreams. They are completely different. Mine is just a poor and defective imitation of only idiots could confuse for real. There is no comparison between them. In the end, an illusion is only an image but lacks substance. Once you feel the real thing, you will notice the empty inside of the illusion. White transition. Shortly after that, the girl leaves without saying any word, as one would have expected from her. Pixelated transition up, pan it up. Long after she is gone, I remain in the destroyed temple. Why didn't you just go over there? Still getting accustomed to the beautiful thing that living without chains was. While I was free, I had no place to go. But anywhere is better than here. I mean, better than this, whatever. It is then a memory appears in my mind. Without thinking, I whispered those words that gave me a guide where to go. This is why they request my services of this acoustic priestess. Ah, here you go. We're going to the priestess area. We're gonna go to Yuki's freaking house. Finn N. All right, guys. This was Haruka's winter dreams, man. Until we get a continuation of Winter's Empty Mess, don't forget to check out their Patreon. Check out Eternal Night's Patreon. Freaking check it out. Freaking support them. The new game mechanics are looking pretty dope, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Just look at the creators and some of the images that come with it too. It's like beautiful. It's beautiful and stuff. And sorry, it's been going long. There's too many things that's been going on. I know there hasn't been videos lately. Like I said, I am still completing like the Life Light and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood literal, because I had to redo some of the things and like lines because I didn't like it, and my voice. I'm not good at singing. I'm telling you that. I am not good at singing. I am horrible. Thank you for playing. Gracias por jugar. But yeah. Also, guys, don't forget to check out the link in the description. Check out my sister's Eternal Night 2014. What? Really? 2014. Check out my sister's Instagram page, her Twitter and stuff. Like, you know, go follow her and stuff. Like, get her to the acting and stuff and some other cool projects. So, guys, without further ado, I hope you guys have enjoyed this series of Haruka Winter Dreams. Until next time, guys. So, without further ado, I hope you guys have a good night, good evening, good from where from. So, peace out and sayonara. Bye bye.